earned silver medals at this year's Paralympic Games in Paris. And Truman has been swimming since she's a little girl. College in October at Yale. Last year, her life incredible. She lost her source and part of her writing a sharp attack on vacation in the Turks and Caicos. But just 6 weeks later, she went back into the water, and now she's a Paralympian. I mean, one of many their athletes who are completely impacted and just refuse to give up. And put a key in tonight. Tonight, TV news. I'm going to hold on to 40 years ago. 40 years ago.
You haven't yet. And with that, so I will go ahead and start the meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for Pastor Young to lead us in prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. We are grateful to you, Lord, for providing us with this gorgeous new day, as well as for the peace and grace that have enabled us to convene here at this moment for our community. May we always remember that our daily lives are always influenced by the grace of the Lord and be guided to live a life of gratitude to Him. We are present today to engage in an open discussion regarding matters of our community. Please protect and direct our meeting in order to ensure that the Lord is present in our thoughts, wisdom, and will, enabling us to constantly carry out projects and events that offer fairness, efficiency, and safety to the residents of our community. Particularly, may the Lord bless the village council members who serve this community, enabling them to maintain their health and improve their homes and businesses. May this community benefit and be contented with all that we share today, and may God's justice be with us. The commencement of this meeting is imminent. We kindly request that you protect our thoughts and emotions in order to ensure that this meeting concludes in a peaceful and respectful manner. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Pastor Young. Lisa, by the opening roll here.
James Eitzen,
Present.
Gwen Dusa,
Here.
Bill Gritzmaker,
Here.
Mike Gunner,
Present.
Jerry Hayes,
Here.
Eric Rogers,
Here.
Timothy Waters.
Present. You take a motion, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting of August 26, 2024.
Move to approve the minutes of August 26, 2024 as presented.
Or changes to propose. Lisa.
Eric,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to presentations and communications. Do I need a motion to open this budget notice? Somebody speak so moved.
Move to open the budget public hearing.
Second. Mike, second. Do you have anything to add to the public hearing before I call roll? Lisa?
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Beautiful. Is there any comment regarding the budget for the 2024-2025 year? Please step up to the mic and state your name for the record. Sure.
Carl Harbeck, 402 East Jefferson Street. In going over the advanced paper from August 28th, I just wanted to talk about wages quickly. And personally, I have no problem with our employees getting a raise. 5% is fine, you know, if we can afford it. The one area that I'm concerned about, and I've thought about it in the village for years, is the DDA. And that there's a mention here of a 33% wage hike possibly for that manager's job.
That's not correct.
Is that correct? Okay,
We can give you an accurate
okay.
per.
I'm just going by this paper with it in here.
So Carl, just to inform you, it's just under 10%. And that is to meet the minimum requirement, so you don't have to pay overtime. So
Okay.
that's why that was.
Oh, okay.
Which is also a law, federal law that is taking place, that specific amount for salary in January of 25.
Okay,
To keep our activities the same, where there would be no changes.
because I saw that, and I said that's a little bit high, especially when last year there was a 7%. So I guess that's the main thing I was looking at. The only thing that I also want to bring up about the DDA came up is that the DDA has basically been event focused. And there was some comments, you know, especially by Mike about how the DDA operates. I was on a DDA board back in Wayne from 1980 to 88, so I know something about it, but I haven't been on DDA board for a while, so here it might be different. But I've been concerned that it's been focused on events, and we're putting all the money in events, and the manager is working 70 hours a week. I hear that's a lot of hours, because when I worked for GM years ago, I worked for a year and a half, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and let me tell you, raising the kids and everything else, that's like a walking zombie. So 70 hours a week is a lot. So it's like, I am concerned we're gonna burn her out, or like, what is she doing with all those hours? And if it's always event focused, maybe that should not be something that she should be as focused on. Especially when I walk around town and drive around, I think there's other issues, you know, to focus. Basically, I think we need to really clean this town up and get some buildings fixed and some eyesores and really clean it up. So basically, it's all I really wanted to say, but not much. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Carl. Please come out to the GDA meeting. We're meeting this Wednesday.
I'll be there.
At 6 o'clock. You'll love to hear your input. Thank you. Any other public? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Mullen, Village of Blissfield resident. First of all, thank you to whoever in the village office sends out the newsletter. Because that's where I saw the notice about tonight, saw the infographic about the budget breakdown that was included, so I thought that was really helpful. And the thing that stuck out to me is our total budget, again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 3.197 612. the police general fund expenditures are over $1 million. Which makes it about 32.5% of our budget. And just as someone who serves on different committees, we're saying we can't afford all of these different things, and then we see the village police budget is $1 million every single year. We're saying, well, we have to cut $2,500 so kids can't have this Parks and Rec program or whatever. So it just feels like, you know, we're charging kids $65 or $75 to do a Parks and Rec program. And we're putting over $1 million towards the police. So I don't know what is the average for other communities or what other options that we're looking at. But when I would like to know, I know we've done like wage scale studies and stuff like that. Is there some sort of study that says like Onset spends this much on their police budget? Bedford Township spends this much. Riga spends this much. Like, I'd like to know, like, what is average for other communities? Because maybe we're on par, maybe we're on low, maybe we're above. But that's kind of information that I think would be relevant discussion going forward. $1 million every year, you know, 1/3 of our budget practically. It just seems like a lot. And so that was my only prepared comment for tonight. But I would just like to chime in on the DDA. Longtime fan of coming to events downtown, and you know, it's one of the times we visit all of the shops in town or during events, and it's one of the things that drew us to this town is that it's an active, getting to be walkable community. And so like we don't, I would hate to see us say, let's get rid of all these things that people love about Blissfield, so we can focus on developing private business buildings that may be terrible, ugly eyesores, but they don't belong to us. Those aren't our assets. So I just think we should look to, like, there's people at the statewide level who have expertise on what works for downtowns. And I think we participate in these initiatives. And if we want to keep accessing these money that are available through the state programs, we have to be doing these things, or we're not going to be able to get that grant money. So just things to think about, and thank you, DDA.
Thank you, Emily. Any other public comment on the budget? If not, so I'd like to make the motion to close the public hearing session.
Make a motion to close. Right.
I move we close the budget hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments from the board here? I'll just go ahead and say it's, I sit on the DDA, and there has been a lot of discussion about events versus economic development. We are trying to strike that balance, and we are always trying to improve the village. Everything we do is with that in mind, whether it's events or just improvements in wayfinding signs or upgrading facades, facade grants or whatnot. We do take it personally to make sure that we do have a vibrant downtown. So we can always use more input on the DDA. It's always welcome. Whether or not you want to serve on the board or just be in the audience and have input, please come out. It's much needed and always well regarded. So thank you for speaking up about the DDA tonight. With that being said, Lisa?
Tim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen.
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
James,
Yes, thank you. Danielle, the 2024 Aquatic Center.
I put most of the information right in the agenda so that you guys would have plenty of time to look this over, but I really just wanted to take a moment to thank all of our staff out at the pool this year. We had a fabulous season. Every year we do learn new things and things that we can always improve on, but I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate those people and our successes. We set a few records this year. One day we had over 480 people in attendance. I did make the note that thankfully it was not all at once, and it's a little bit funny, but truly that may have been a bit crazy as it was already a hectic day. We had 572 memberships, which is a record for us. And I don't have final budget numbers. I put in here that we're over 52,000. I am hoping we're gonna pass 55. We're gonna be really, really close to that. But I really, throughout the year, received numerous compliments on, our staff out there, how helpful they are, how friendly. We get numerous compliments about the cleanliness of the facility. And it is really just due to all of those employees. I've listed them below as well so that you guys can all see their name. But if you see these people out in the public, please just thank them. And hopefully they will all be back next year because we enjoy working with them.
Do you do any, holiday activity, Danielle? I know it'd be difficult, challenging when everybody's going back to school, but I didn't know if you guys did a particular event. to get
We
everybody together.
did do an end of season employee party a few years ago, and it was very challenging because we have a portion of our employees go back to college, and then a portion are high school kids who most all of them do sports. So it was really hard to get people there. We had about a third of our employees, so we just stopped doing that because we didn't want some to miss out. But I do try to share that with them anytime I hear good things. And again, this is just my way of kind of showing that appreciation as well. And we do have a volunteer in the audience too, so thank you, Pam, and all the others who are not here.
Wonderful job, and thanks for giving us the information and stuff. Thank you.
Okay, the agenda. Take a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Name on the second. Go ahead, Lisa.
Jerry?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Gwen?
Yes.
Tim? Bill?
Yes.
James?
Yes, thank you. I will open up public comment, items on the agenda, items not on the agenda. Just ask that you state your name for the record. You don't need your address.
Hi, I'm Pam Harps, and I just want to thank our police department for keeping our AED working as a tool, our DPW department for keeping our water amazing, our fire department for the training they did with us, and last but not least, I noticed that Danielle did not list herself in that list. I would like to thank her for being an amazing boss and a good friend, and I would just like to thank the council and Blissfield for providing that pool. I teach swim lessons. It's one of my biggest passions. I love teaching children how to swim. And that zero entry pool is the best pool I've ever taught in. And I think we might have had a record number of swim lessons. Do you know? I tried to add them up, but some kids took more than one session. So I'm going to guess maybe 20 or 30 each session.
We had a total of 60 kids. I do know that. I didn't look to see if that was a record. I should have.
I think it might. And all 3 sessions were well attended as opposed to third session round. But our family personally enjoyed our membership. We were there practically every day. And there's nothing more thrilling than watching children you taught how to swim, being able to be safe and happy. So I just really appreciate our pool and everything it takes to keep it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ed, I'd like to speak from right here, just a lot like this.
Please do, sir.
Ed Kneisel, 426 North Monroe Street. I would like to know if the village administrator filed for a grant yet to get that log jam out. I'm getting my information from Steve May, if you know him. And the only way to get it out is probably get a grant from the state. So somebody like Eagle or whatever, and have a private contractor do it. The village doesn't have the equipment. Township evidently doesn't. I don't know about the state. Most of the councilmen have been over there and looked at it, and women. And it's a mess. There's 2 big trees blocking the whole thing. We have a new neighbor now, just moved in from Texas, and he works for the airlines in Detroit. And he'll ask me about it, and I'll tell him where I've got so far. Have you tried filing a grant yet? I don't know.
I have not filed the grant because there are no grant funds available. I have called Eagle numerous times. We called them again. I reached out to Steve May to see which grant he was specifically referencing. I've emailed him twice since you attended council meeting last and have not heard anything back yet. I emailed another person at Eagle, and then Nora even talked to our Eagle representative for our source water improvement protection plan to see if they had any funding, and they do not. But I cannot write a grant if there's no grant or funding available.
Well, that's where we got our information, Steve.
If he gives me information regarding a grant that I'm unaware of, I'm more than happy to apply for a grant, but there has to be funding in a grant for that type of work. And based on all of the research I've done, which I did far before you came to the last meeting, there's nothing available.
Okay, thank you.
But I will keep following up with Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, people, for coming over and looking at it.
Wish there's something more we could do. We'll keep working on it. Any other public comment?
Good afternoon, council. I'm Louis Escobedo, 46 North Main. I come back again to this council to quit about my catch basin sinkhole that I have in my front yard. I still believe that it's not my responsibility to repair it. I had my phone. Well, that's around, I took a picture of the sinkhole. Mike came over to, Mike was kind of come over to look at it one day. And we actually to find down the water into the sinkhole. We removed the catch basin lid. And the water we put in the sinkhole shot right through the hole and into my sewer system. So rainwater is actually going into our sanitary system. So the more rainwater that goes into the sanitary system, the more chemicals you have to use on a treatment plant to treat as sewage water. I do not believe, I think your lawyer sent me a letter saying that it's called a bilateral sewer line. It's a private sewer line between us 5 homeowners that tie into that sewer line. I still feel that it's not our responsibility to maintain. I've gotten 2 quotes, I'm waiting for 2 more quotes to come in. I got 2 quotes to have it fixed. One guy, AJ Brady, came in and looked at it and said, oh yeah, all your bricks from inside, if your cherries are falling in, the whole thing needs to be replaced. And I told him, I don't see how you can see that the bricks are deteriorating and falling in, because the village took it upon themselves back in March of 2010 to spray a liner inside it. So how can you tell if the bricks are deteriorating? I had another Zalarski come in. They looked at it and they gave me a quote for AJ Brady wanted $18,750 to repair the entire catch basin. That's a lot of money for 3 homeowners. We're all retired. We're not working any. Everybody who ties into this bilateral sewer line, we're all retired. The next guy was Zularski. He said, yeah, we can dig a hole along, you can get all the way down to the tile, replace the tile, pack it with cement, and be done with it, because my neighbor to the east of me no longer ties into my sewer line. That bid was like around $5,500. Still a lot of money. I feel that it's not my responsibility to repair. My neighbor Dan, we dug up his manhole cover today, and he has a catch basin between his yard and the neighbor yard next to me. I bought so much ground. He dug about a good 6 inches of ground to get to his manhole lid into the catch basin. Mine used to be that much. Now I lost so much ground in my property that the lid to my catch basin is now flushed with my property. You know, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We're at a standstill. Then, well, I guess some suggestions if you don't mind. So,
Go ahead, Dan, you brought up.
My name's Dan Mealing, 440 North Lane,
And I'm sorry, could you say your last name again, please?
Mealing, Meehling. 440 North Lane, bought my home in 2013. I guess sarcastically, I'd like to thank whoever in the village told Louis to come talk to his neighbors to fix this problem. I guess I see this as pretty simple. We don't have a sewer problem. My sewer is running fine, all the houses are running fine. We've got a stormwater that's going into the sewer system that you guys have been treating for 20 years and known about. So we've got a couple of options. You guys can say that the village agreed, I guess, when the homes were built in the 70s, that they could tie all these together. And if it's the 5 homeowners' job to maintain it, fine. But my next question is, and you've been overcharging us for a sewer line hookup, because you got 5 homes with 1 sewer line hookup. So you owe us a lot of money back, and about a $40 discount per house going forward. So that's an option. Personally, I'd just like to get his yard fixed. Now, long term, you got an even bigger problem, because if the same thing happened, I've got the house that has a connection across the street. If tomorrow I had the same problem he had, personally, I'd fix it with a 2-foot section of 4-inch PVC pipe, run my sewer right into the hookup. Then I'm gonna have 3 angry neighbors that ain't got sewer hookup. So, at this point, whoever he's been talking to for 20 years, we need somebody else to talk to. Oh,
Thank you. Any other thing you want to address? What's that?
I can send you guys some additional information. This has been turned over. Lewis submitted a claim. It was turned over to our insurance. I had previously sent that, but it's been,
I called you last,
I don't
I called you last year saying that the sequel had resurfaced again, and you sent somebody over a orange pylon, and that pylon still sits in my yard since last December.
yeah, so that claim's been since then. I'll forward you the information and get that to you guys, and then you can let me know if you want me to do anything further.
Thank you. I guess we start the process over again.
Well, okay, I mean, I've been battling this from Mr. Wanacott sat there. And he told me back then that he could not find anything that stated that this sanitary line did not belong to the village at all. It belongs to the homeowner. I told him that I wasn't trying to be a smart ass or anything, but I said, I've been up and down the Home Depot aisles at Lowe's, and not a single aisle has a catch basin repair kit for the homeowner. I don't feel it belongs to the homeowner to repair. So I'd like to get this resolved soon. It's gone on far enough. My whole yard I've lost so much ground. I don't have a single driveway panel that, when I first moved there, I could buzz up and down my driveway with a snow blower. Okay, no problem. Now I got at every panel, it's a hiccup. It's all erosion that's going on. I don't know how bad it is. I mean, to carry that, those tabs don't move on their own. There's something going on, and I think the root of the problem is right there at that sinkhole. Right. Okay,
Thank you. Any other public comment? Who wants unfinished business? Council, any unfinished business?
Yes, I do. Danielle, I know that you told us that you would be getting back with us regarding the Mike, I'm gonna say it wrong again, bollards, thank you for the dog park.
So they sent us the wrong part. I'm working with the company to get that resolved. I sent them some photos. today. I do have the signs in, but I specifically had asked Brent if he could wait so that we could install it all at once. So that we weren't putting signs and then bollards or vice versa. So as soon as I get that resolved with the seller, we'll be getting those installed.
Thank you. Second one, I don't know how much information you can provide at this time regarding the police negotiations, please.
I don't know that it would be
I
appropriate.
didn't want detail, but negotiations have started, is that correct?
Correct.
That's all I need to know. Okay, thank you. And we had stated something before regarding the River Raisin Festival discussion. Didn't know if we were gonna try to have some kind of a committee of the whole meeting on that. I couldn't recall. I just had in my notes, festival discussion.
So I was requested to share the cost of that, which I did share with you guys.
Yes.
If you want to have further discussion, I'm more than happy to do that. I did not schedule anything. I thought you just wanted the cost, but I'm good with that. You just let me know.
I would like some. Now, maybe not discuss it, but I'm wondering if we should meet, and if we have a committee of the whole, have that be part of the agenda with the River Raisin Festival, group, the volunteers, and discuss what their meeting plan, thoughts are for 25, as well as some of the costs that the village is, paying for regarding the event itself, and what their thoughts are on that. I don't know how you guys feel about that as a group of trustees, if you think it's something that we should do or not do. It's just a thought of mine. Doesn't mean we have to do it. Just wondering if you guys wanted to have that discussion with those folks regarding the cost of the festival.
Yeah, all the auxiliary.
I think we should. If we could, I mean, I don't know, if you have a committee, the whole meeting, that might work.
It doesn't have to certainly be this month. I mean, obviously, but something here, before the end of December, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I can reach out to the committee and let them know what our committee of the whole, I don't have anything scheduled for November, December. See if either of those dates would work for them. I'll have to double check December's date. Well, both, but Thanksgiving and Christmas. But I'll talk to them and see what we can come up with, and I will let you guys.
And the focus, of course, would just be the cost of the festival itself and what their
Because you're wanting them to attend, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, they need to attend, that, it would do no good, they just have us here, so I would very much like them to attend.
Okay, I will reach out to them.
Okay, so we can have a meeting.
They used to provide us financials anyway back in the day. It may not be our business of what they actually take in or make, regardless
Very
of the
true.
entire festival itself. But what the village does pertain to us, and I think that that's something to discuss.
That, you hit the nail on the head, Mike, thank you.
Back when I was on the committee, we paid for electrical upgrades at a couple of pavilions down here. And it gave back to the village that way,
Versus,
as a thank you.
right, something, so maybe that kind of a discussion, what we can. Vote for. Thank you, that's all I have.
Jerry? Okay, new business, payroll.
Move to approve the payroll register for August 2024 in the amount of $215,458.13.
Support. Lisa?
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes. The bills, any questions on the bills? No? No motion?
Move to approve the accounts payable for the period of August 14, 2024 to September 10, 2024 in the amount of $298,835.38. That's what that.
Yeah, Eric? Go ahead, that makes sense.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Thank you. All right, resolution to adopt next year's budget fiscal year 24 and 25. Not Shannon for any input. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the resolution adopting this year 2024-2025 budget as presented effective October 2024.
I'll support that.
Okay, any final comment?
Yeah, one question on the wage, because the wage scale is included in the budget, will that officially adopt the wage scale for 24-25? In kind, I know we have it down the line, but it is officially a document inside the budget, so I'm wondering if that would be.
So I have 3 separate agenda items, which is how I have done it since I've been with the village. I'm not sure how you guys have done it before. It is, I do present it as one document to you guys, but I have you make the motion on the budget, the capital improvement plan, and then the wages separate.
So it's not officially, I guess, adopted.
That's
by-
not how you can do it that way, but I have, again, since I've been here, separated it. That way, if you guys wanted to address a single item of those, you could do so without affecting the others.
You can hold off on your comment until we get the wages?
Yes.
Okay, Lisa?
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Thank you. All right, number 4, a resolution to approve and adopt the capital improvement plan for the next fiscal year. Actually, this is 24 through 31.
I'll move to approve the resolution adopting the 24 through 31 capital improvement plan CIP as recommended by the planning commission.
Support. Any questions or comments? No, Lisa, go ahead.
Eric,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill, Gwen,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Lastly, regarding the budget with wage scale for 24-25.
Make a motion to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 24-25 wage scale as recommended effective October 1st, 2024.
Howard,
Eric.
It was there.
I love his voice, I love his
Mike?
Feel louder. Yeah, regarding the wage scale, okay, regarding the public, I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Hargrove.
Hardback.
Hardback, that's it, Mr. Hardback. I think Fletch said it in one of his movies, I'm not, very well, it takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. No, I'm not a big man, but I will say that I'm wrong. I had bad information regarding that, wage scale at the time. I think there were a lot floating out there. So it was a 7% and it's a proposed 10% this year. That being said, I'm still not comfortable with it wholeheartedly. Again, I'm a part of the DDA and I'm on the board. But the DDA board also as a whole approved that and they're recommending that the council, I do need to support or recommend to try to support the board as such. Much like you alluded to, not sure I can here, but I probably would like to take a step back and look at other things, more of the economic development over the events. And that is part of my issue with what we're paying for that position. That being said, it's a proposed 10%. As much as I may not like it, I will support the DDA, and I'll support the board. So again, this is not personal towards our director, and I want to make sure that that's clear. But I did want to commit that those correct.
I feel the same way, Judy, by the way. Nothing negative against the GPA, no.
Right, thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? I'd just like to say thank you to the board. I was not available to work through the budget with you during this workshop. It's definitely my favorite time of the year. But I was able to tune in and watch, and I hope those workshops continue going forward because I think they do a tremendous amount of good as far as keeping our eye on long-term and short-term goals. So thank you, council, for all your hard work there. Lisa?
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jerry, James,
Yes, thank you. Moving on, item number 6, the approval of delinquent billing collections. Danielle?
So,
You want
I-
to defer to Brandon?
I am gonna let Brandon lead this. He actually helped me out and prepared all of this information for you guys. And then I'll kind of jump in where needed, but if you want to take the lead and talk about this?
So at the last council meeting, you guys expressed interest in reading a history account. I believe it was 10 years, 5 years, I don't remember the date. But I wanted to provide an alternate where we can potentially collect the money rather than read it all off. So because I have these accounts that are unvalued, I connect attach to the property taxes, which has been the practice that I've been doing since I've been here. I've been enrolling them on. And the landlord affidavits do not allow me to put it down there. So, and that's where the majority of the accounts come from. When I presented this spreadsheet, you guys. Not. There's $24,000 in landlord affidavits. 19,500 of that is from Coach Night alone. So I reached out to one of the collections agencies, Danny Everybody needed 3 contacts, so I reached out to one of them to get the process of how it works, which is outlined in the agenda packet. 30, I think it was 35% for anything that's in past, and then going forward, it would be 30%. I proposing that we use the collections mostly for the ones that have the landlord affidavits on there, because I'm gonna continue to put them in property taxes when I can.
Well, they're gonna try to collect back tax, what you say, we get 35%, they get the rest if we collect.
What's that?
They're gonna try to collect the back bills,
That's,
and they'll collect, if they collect whatever, we get 35% and they keep the rest.
this is it, we have to keep the.
Backwards.
Other way around.
They
So-
keep 35%.
That's their, yes, they'll keep, so they will actually pay, they'll pay us in full. And then they'll invoice us for the 35, so we'll collect, they'll get the payment, we'll collect the full amount. And then 35% of that amount will go back to them. So that essentially they're keeping 35% and the rest would come back to the villages.
And then the one other thing is, and I told them it's up to you guys, all of you. If the balance is over $500 and they don't have any enough to get in the money, we can do garnishment. I think it's gonna be 40% at the cost, so that's an option, so. But you guys have to tell me tonight if you want to explore that option.
I know when I read the agenda regarding this particular issue, I reached out to Danielle yesterday. And when we talked, she was explaining her idea of a hybrid model on this. And I was wondering, Danielle, if you could maybe explain where we would maybe go totally with the collection agency, but if you wouldn't mind, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. So as Gwen already stated, she did call me yesterday regarding this item. So this was brought, you guys had talked about writing the items off, and when Brandon was working on this, I asked him to present to you guys the different options. So you have the option to write any bills off, go to collections, or we can continue as we are and try to collect them. And so when she read this, she was under the impression that we were recommending to go with collections. Which I'm not saying is necessarily the wrong. Ultimately, this is kind of a new it is a new policy moving forward, and you guys set policy, so it's up to you. My, I guess, opinion or advice would be, again, what I call kind of a hybrid. I would say anything that's older than 5 years, write off, and then anything that's less than that, go with the collections option. We obviously always want to follow our current policy, which is to put it on the taxes and to do that in a timely manner moving forward. But the collections gives us an avenue for the people who we cannot put on taxes, such as renters, because they're not the property owner. And we may not be able to collect the full amount, but it would at least give us some of that money back. So that would be my recommendation if you guys are wanting it. Again, ultimately, it's up to you, however you want that to look. I did ask Brandon to be able to give you a dollar amount if you were to write off things that are older than 5 years, what that amount would be. And
So if we did a 5-year mark, we will write off $26,668.28. And I would just I would be honest with you, I would be comfortable doing the 5-year mark because that is before me. Because it's a lot of time to investigate these accounts and try to locate these people. So when I don't have the background, knowing what went on with these accounts.
And that's what Mr. Litsky was referring to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we don't want to imply that they were not handled correctly before. We're just in a unique situation where we don't have staff who is here then, so we can't say what happened
Right.
7 years ago. None of us have been here. So they may have tried to reach out and collect that and done all that they could, but then when that staff changed over, we lost that knowledge of what did or did not take place.
Which is what I was trying to reach you guys. And that's why I voted no, because I was thinking, well, we would just wait. And then hopefully have this discussion and just do everything all at one fell swoop. So it wasn't anything against Mr. Lipsky per se, but in my opinion, I think that Danielle's suggestion with Brandon's work as well, between the those numbers being written up for the reasons given, as well as having the opportunity for the garnishment, as well as the opportunity for the system being suggested here. And then Brandon's here. I mean, these are things he's working on currently, and it's our staff. We know what they have done and what they have tried and been successful with. It just kind of brings things up to date with people. So I appreciate Danielle sharing it with me yesterday.
Good question, James. Brandon, have you been working on that list?
Say it again?
Have you been working on that list?
Yes, I have been.
Have you made any connections and
I-
collections?
I have not. I was gonna bring that up one-on-one with Adam because Mike offered to help. So I was gonna try to reach out one-on-one to see if you had anybody that you knew.
Do we know what the state statute of limitations is to go back for that?
According to the correction agency, and I don't know, I can't find anything online. I don't know if it's for correction agencies only or for everybody. It's 6 years.
6 years. I'd say we try that and we get some and then we move forward, but I wholeheartedly agree with the garnish sheet from here on out. Because that, again, anytime somebody doesn't pay a bill, it falls back on the rest of us taxpayers and residents to make up that difference. Right?
Great.
So I say from here on out, that should be an option along with the tax roll. But let's quit wasting time. You guys have more things to do with better things to do with your time than try to recoup all that from these people that are hard to get a hold of. So let the other company do it. They take a chunk out of it, they take 35%, we'll give what we can, and we'll move forward and we'll set that policy. I say we go back to 6 years if that's what the state allows.
So you're saying go back to. Is it 6 years beyond the 5 years, so like 11 years, you're saying, or?
No.
Oh, gotcha, 6 years from now,
Yes,
understand, gotcha.
well, whatever the statute of limitations.
Which is,
And yeah, and he said anything older than 6 years.
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, anything's better than nothing.
And you have that amount as well, that.
I
that changed
have
that
the
amount.
6 year amount is $21,092.29.
And Ross is the only company we contacted.
Say that again.
Ross is the only company we contacted.
Yes.
Who else? And it's just the one company that I contacted.
We didn't reach out. I told Brandon to get some information so you guys would have an idea. If you wanted to move forward, then we could contact other companies to see if there's different rates.
I tried to pick somebody that was more local to us so that it would be easier for me to communicate. So, and that was the one from Jackson. I know there's one in, you guys, but everything.
Yeah, there's one in Ann Arbor, Toledo, and Monroe.
And much like Gwen, says quite often is let's learn from the past and forward. So we would adopt a policy right to where we're gonna follow that and we're going to say, this is the process. You're gonna get garnished if you don't pay. Or whatever else, we're gonna be fair across the board.
Yes.
So that would be something that would need to be written and then, and then you would bring it to council.
Yes,
and
I
then
would
make
bring
a-
that to you guys
I
for
totally
approval.
concur with that, absolutely.
I didn't prepare because we would follow the ordinance now allows us to put it on taxes, which is always going to be our number one, and that policy will identify that. I didn't want to create something until I knew what you guys wanted to do exactly. Because we had talked briefly about collections before and there was some people on the fence, so we just weren't sure what your preference would be.
So we'll have this discussion at the next time we meet.
Are you wanting to take any action to write off bills? And give direction, I guess, to move forward, or how do you want? It's up to you guys how you want to handle that.
Our policy together, so we can have that policy ready in 2 weeks.
If that's too soon, that's.
I cannot have that policy ready in
So,
2 weeks.
what-
I can try, but
What would your recommendation be, Danielle, as far as
request
saying
that
the
I can
write-off?
have it ready by the first meeting in October.
Do you think we should do the write-offs as well as the policy at the same time with that? The better route to take?
I mean, we have time, if we're gonna stick with this company, we have time to get a policy going, because they can't start the process until December, January. Unless you want me to get quotes from other places.
I think we need to get close.
Okay, how many do you want me to get? Total 3?
Yes.
3, okay.
Vendors.
So what are your thoughts here, Danielle, with the
Where do we leave off with these terms?
You guys did approve that.
yes?
But that was also 2014, right? So I mean.
Yeah, it would have been in
That
that,
was part
yes,
of it.
yes, it was in that timeframe. If that's the route you guys are wanting to go, I think it makes more sense to go ahead and approve whatever it is you're willing to waive now. So that when we solicit those other quotes from the company, we can give an amount that we're looking to start collections on, and then we can let them know. It would be any accounts moving forward that cannot go on the tax bills. So that'll give us, if we can plan on bringing the policy to you at the first meeting in October, that gives us a month to get the policy in place. Solicit those other quotes and then make sure that we get those other accounts cleared out.
Awesome.
If you guys are good with that.
What was the amount of the delinquents outside of the statute of limitations?
Give me the 6 years.
Yes.
Okay, 21,094.29.
Got the motion ready, Jerry?
I do.
Good.
Darren, will you reference the statute, not the 6 years? So if the statute changes, our policy will reflect the statute.
Sure.
There you go. Either up or down.
Well, we won't have to, and because in the future we'll stay on top of it.
Yeah, because we won't have another one.
So they'll be submitted they'll be submitted as soon as we can.
Well, I mean, if anything does.
I'll move that we waive delinquent water bills outside of the statute of limitations in the amount of $21,094.29.
Second.
Any additional questions or comments?
Moving forward on that, that's awesome.
Lisa?
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
James,
No. Number 7, approve the installation of North Lane Street fire hydrant.
I'm bringing this item to council for official approval. However, I'm kindly respectfully requesting you approve it because the work is already completed. I did contact James, before the meeting in regards to this. If we had the contractor here, it saved us the cost of having to have them mobilize in again. They were ahead of schedule on the 223 project, so it made the most sense for us to move forward with this. I hope that you guys agree, but just asking for formal approval and wanted to get it in front of you in the public.
Move to approve the installation of the fire hydrant on North Lane Street in the amount of $9,200 to start the meeting.
Support. Any questions or comments?
Quite a bit under budget too, so that's a good thing.
Having a mobilize is like a $3,000 or $4,000 number.
It's, yeah, I don't have the exact amount, but it definitely saved us some money not having to mobilize. And for it, couple thousand easily.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I did put this in there, we still do have to purchase the hydrant. We supplied one, but we'll replace that, which will probably be around 35, 36.
3,000.
But we're still under budget, with the 15,000 that was budgeted there.
That quick check.
That one does not, that's the last one I got, stop. That's a Mueller.
Watch the brick green and Brett said, about that
The,
pine tree probably.
the one that we're replacing will have those storage nozzle on it.
Moving forward, it'll have to put you next.
Make that pine tree could fit there still.
No.
Wow.
What about utilities?
Let's see, do I have a motion? Yes. Right,
Yes.
waiting for, go ahead, Lisa, waiting for.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Hold on, real quick. How many hydrants does that leave that in town? Are we down to?
Well, the one. That they left, and then you got a bag. Down there where did that? Oh, there was a bag one right here by the DPW, but that one's now replaced that one.
Right. So
We're
now,
not, we're gonna leave that one bag until hopefully we
did we fix that?
align exactly. Correct. We'll just leave that one bag, hopefully in the next 3 years we can get that one.
Thanks, Brett.
Yep.
Thanks, Jimmy.
And moving on to the annual insurance policy.
I'll move to renew the fiscal year 2024-25 property and liability insurance to NNL liability and property pool in the amount of $78,186.
Support. Any questions or comments on that?
What was the increase on that one? Or,
I don't know. The premium went.
It did increase.
Yeah.
But we know
Just
that.
takes one second.
There would be amendments.
Then we've got that dividend return for all years of independent, too, so that's. Yeah, that's why I was there.
So it is a $12,350 increase, not including the dividend. So our dividend this year will be $5,697. So if you include that, it's $6,653 increase.
Thank you.
And I put this in there.
Wastewater plant too, probably, right? So I mean, that's.
We were, yeah, we were reappraised, definitely wastewater treatment plant upgrades were included in that, but generally across the board, our property values increased.
Any further questions, comments? Lisa?
Tim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
James,
Yes. Brett, take it away. Street sweeper. What do you want to know about? Whatever you want to tell us.
Let me tell you about it.
It's sweeping the streets.
Sweeps the streets.
This is equipment from Wisconsin, correct?
This is coming, yeah, I got the last email from him, supposed to be here this Wednesday or Thursday. It's all set, all done, waiting on trucking. There's a trucking company picks it up, it'll be here. And that equipment.
Oh, they don't fly it out?
No,
Fly out,
and
go
then
get it?
they don't drive it either. Sweep the way here. So basically we'll go out, check it out, see if it's something that we're interested in. They went through it all, they put about $45,000 into it. Looks like the pictures and everything, these are pictures. You keep sending them, it looks like a real nice piece of equipment. Used equipment, good equipment, very hard to find. If we're not interested in it, when I go there, there's other municipalities going. So this is like, you know, once I get there,
it's something we are not interested, they haven't sold.
You are flying out to see it, you said?
No, I'm driving up to Bell Equipment in Detroit. They're gonna get it trucked in from Wisconsin. So basically, they're McQueen, they got facilities all over, so like trying to shop for a sweeper, I could call up to Wisconsin, as soon as they see me, guys go to Bell Equipment. Anything gets in the elements, they're all, that's how that all works. And
Tell them to drop it off on the way by.
if we were interested, if we were guaranteed to take it, they wouldn't know it. But I'd like to look at it, drive it, sweep with it, me and another guy will all take a peek at it,
What years are existing?
87.
And it's not doing much anymore. I mean,
We're sweeping with it,
it is, but it doesn't.
no,
seem
it's not,
like it
it's not like it used to be.
We have to run it for short periods of time.
Yeah, we get about 3 hours sweeping with it, and then that's about it. We do as much as we can with it.
So we would like to get approval to purchase this. Brent will, him and another employee will go test drive it and sweep with it, like he said. And then assuming, based on all of the information we have, we're very interested, assuming that that test drive goes well. We would like to be able to commit to Bell Equipment so that we do not lose it to another community. We did budget, and we've talked about this a little bit during the budget work sessions as well. We budgeted 150,000. This obviously is coming in under that, which then just helps us meet our needs with that, but hopefully in the next item, we'll talk about some additional equipment that's needed, but that is what we're requesting tonight. So we will let Bell know that it'll be contingent on that test drive.
They're already aware of that. Just basically looking for the authority to say, yes, we'll take it.
I would move to approve the purchase of the 2011 Elgin sweeper from Bell Equipment in the amount of $99,500.
Brent, what's a new one cost?
360,000, this same machine, $365,000 brand new.
Lisa, go ahead.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
You be able to sweep my street when you get this?
You're not curb and gutter, because you're not curb and gutter.
But I am, and I can't wait.
Go down our street first.
Come on down South Street.
First, we gotta mow the boulevard, yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I was hoping you'd get to it.
Brent, is there anything we need to know about this John Deere tractor?
No, basically it'd be the same, it'd be the John Deere tractor replacing the 2000 John Deere. Basically, we went through the transmission last winter ourselves, put it back together because it was about $7,000 for them to redo it. We put parts, we put it back together. We just went through the pump on the motor. We just put a pump on that, also was dumping hydraulic fluid into the fuel pump. So we dump it into the fill the crankcase full. So we took hydraulic fluid. So we took care of that, we fixed that, it's running right now, but just to let you know, it's a 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
I think it's got like $4,500 on it or something like that. We had that one we bought, wheels.
Here's my question. I'm kind of a picture guy, so if we could see what, I like the specs for some reason. I apologize, Daniel, I
Right.
requested more work. Can we see this stuff like the
You want pictures of
sweeper?
it?
Yeah, I Googled
Yeah.
it and I saw it, but this is literally just a mower, right? With the.
This will basically, it'll be the 4300 tractor that plows the streets, plows the sidewalks. Then we use it for mowing, it's 72-inch deck, goes pull a lot.
And you want to stick with the same attachment for.
Well, the
Sidewalks, which.
correct, well, that's exactly, we're, as of right now, the attachments on this tractor will fit the other tractors we have. Blade will fit on this one. We buy all high guard hydraulic fluids and everything. Get a different one, we gotta change hydraulic fluids. Just backhoe will go onto this one, 950 off.
And you're not trading this, the old one in because you want to continue that.
The old tractor will be traded in, they're gonna take
Part
that,
of that cost.
they're gonna take it with them.
Oh, I
It's-
misunderstood. Okay, so we are trading that in then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What'd you say they were giving us for 4,500?
Yes.
3,000.
$3,000.
Here's the question though. If you don't like the street sweeper and you wanna find something else and we wanna spend 200,000, what do we do? I know you would like the tractor, is it?
Well,
Is it critical that we do it right now, or do we wait until we check the street sweeper?
as what I've seen of the street sweeper and knowing about equipment, people they are at Clark Bushman, I feel the sweeper's gonna be a good sweeper. Kind of excited to see it, to be honest. So that's why I figured it something would be in our wheelhouse. I don't know, like I say, what we could spend on them. The sweepers are kind of a tough item, that, you know, either they're where we're at or they're $200,000. A lot of municipalities only keep them a year and they sell them, you know, they're high out, they move them.
You're pretty confident that
I am.
Would it hurt if we waited and just on the approval of the DPW of the tractor? Would it hurt if we waited till after you?
We'll do whatever we can do that.
That's what you're saying, right? Let's see what the sweeper does and then go come in 2 weeks.
Ed, Mr. Knizel. Sorry, you're a little distracted. We're trying to have a conversation. Just sorry about that. But just getting input, it's hard to hear when you sound like that. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right. So Mike is, I think what Mike is actually is, let's get the sweeper.
Right.
You should like it, and then we can come back in 2 weeks or whatever, and then.
And once again, just so we know, there's only two of those 39, there's only two of the 39 tractors out there right now. The rest will be middle of February. So just keep that in mind. It's
And
just,
it's
equipment's
taken
just
us-
like this equipment is just,
But,
And it's taken us a year to find the sweeper at 99.5. So if, let's say, worst case, he gets there and doesn't like that, we are not in a position to turn around and we don't even have another sweeper that we're interested in.
not right
It could
now.
be another year before we find something too.
And that would be the thing, our next would be plowing snow. Just keep it in mind, you know, sweeping, when fall, we start picking up leaves, they'll sweep much in the fall, usually the back six, the curbs and gutters up. And then it'll be plowing snow.
We'll be done mowing now too. I mean,
Right,
we
right.
usually use this out in the parks and in the bigger.
The zero turns, we usually do the pool lot, big lots with that tractor. But the big thing we found is.
I just don't want to dig us in a hole and say we don't like that sweeper and then we do find something. Or pedal looking to.
Otherwise, we
the other
could
funds.
leave it, yeah, we can leave it at that, or with Danielle, if the sweepers are good to go, that gives us but just gives me the okay to let Hudson's know that we're able to take the tractor.
What do we have budgeted for this?
So the tractor was not budgeted. We budgeted 150 for the sweeper. I am asking to purchase the tractor with the under budgeted amount from the sweeper. So we could get the sweeper and the tractor both under the just under the 150,000. So I do understand what Mike is saying
I do too.
completely. I just, and we're obviously set, we will make that work if you guys want to bring it back in 2 weeks. I just don't know that we're going to be in a position if we were not to get this sweeper, that we even have something, another sweeper in mind or a backup plan. And I do feel very confident. I know Brent's talked to Bell extensively. They've sent a ton of information. We wouldn't even be asking or would not have already asked you to approve that sweeper if we weren't pretty confident that we are very interested in it.
And I've looked at other ones, there's not many out there right now. Especially if you want a whirlwind. You know, there's some crosswinds out there, but them don't work like a whirlwind does. Would not be as good. Especially the streets we have that are uneven and that. It's not gonna work as well. They didn't, and the budget too, and we had the streets, we had a DPW pick up with us, so we were gonna swap the tractor.
The pickup is budgeted
For
October 1 for next year, yeah. And kind of when we had talked during budget, I had preliminary kind of presented this information and we felt that this was the best way to get the equipment that we need so that DPW could continue providing the same level of service and doing all the work that they needed and making some progress towards getting additional equipment as well. Again, we're willing to wait if you guys want to, we don't have a problem with that, but I am very confident that if you guys approve both of these tonight, that we'll be in good shape to move forward on them and get that equipment checked off our list and work on next year's budget and try to get caught up on these things.
Cause like I said, we're replacing a sweeper that's in 1987 and a tractor that's in 2000.
When are you going to Detroit?
Wednesday or Thursday, he's supposed to have it there, look at it.
2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, this one here, this is what it's saying. It's Detroit,
Detroit.
not DC.
Yeah.
I'll move council to approve the purchase of the new John Deere tractor, the trading of our 2000 John Deere. Requested appropriate amount of $49,036. Support.
Any further conversation, comments, questions?
I'm all about supporting it, but I'm gonna play it safe. I would rather wait the 3 days. That's my opinion.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Mike,
So
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
James.
Yes. Good luck. Get those work out. Moving on to reports. Any questions on the reports? Keith's here, Brandon's here, Danielle's here. No one but Nora's here, or no, okay, sorry, Keith. Not water sewer. No questions on the reports, council discussion? Anything to discuss? All right, public comment, items on the agenda, items not on the agenda.
yeah, real quick on the reports. Traffic stops 52 in the police side, sorry. That's. Is that a higher number than normal, lower number, average?
Compared to. It's down from historically because we're down the personnel.
And I just want council to really read through that. Administration is huge and that takes a lot of time. A lot of these investigations take up a lot of time. Patrol, people may not see it, but you got 181 hours patrol, so. You know. In defense of the police department. They have done a great job of keeping the town safe. They do things under the radar, which I like. And, you know, just the numbers don't lie, so just look at the numbers. I know people may not agree with it, but. Yeah. Like the numbers.
Yep, that's why score sheets are important. Scorecards or whatever you want to call them, quantify it. Any other council discussion? Any public comment?
Carl Harbeck. As long as Brent's here, something that I've noticed in our town, we have brush pickup, which is very nice to have, but we've got some residents that put out these huge piles for their house, whole length. And then Brent and his crew have to try to pick through all of that, and I checked with Maddie about the ordinance, and all it says is that the pieces of brush that's gotta be 8 foot length, the longest. But she said technically, it doesn't mean you have to put them out in 8 foot piles. When I put mine out, mine are always small, you can flip it into the bucket. I might have 5 or 6 small piles, he knows how I do it, it's flip right in and they're gone. But I've had neighbors recently, that got a huge pile across the whole front of their yard, and how do you expect them to pick that up, and they've got that claw thing, and they got a claw, they got to shake it, and they got to pull stuff out of it, and then put it in the truck, and it hangs out below. It's tough on it, so I don't know if the ordinance can be readjusted. To have like the size of piles people can put out and separate them, so it makes it easy on them, and they can do their job a lot faster. Citizens, it takes, you know, more time, but to help them out, because they have enough work as it is. So, number 2, when is the pool gonna be torn down, or I thought I read something about it was budgeted, but I don't know if that's.
The old pool.
The old pool.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
Last time we talked to Slurs, he's on schedule for October, first of October.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and then last thing real fast, I brought this up about 7 months ago when the ordinances were being readjusted. They asked that 12 inches grass like weeds could be down to 8. Last time I talked to Maddie, it's still at 12. So at some point, can we lower that down? Adrian's got 8. And last year I went around the county and checked out the towns. I forget between 6 and 8 were most of them. I think we're the only ones that had 12. If I recall correct. Anyway,
Deerfield just adjusted theirs down to 6.
yeah, so because when it's 12. And I get frustrated due to by so many people in this town businesses whose grass is, like 10.8 or 11.1, just enough so we can't get them. But if I spot them, they don't even know about it, just go in contact with them, that just irritates me, and it already does, and there's no excuse for it. Mow your lawn once a week, and then rentals is another thing, where they take care of the private next door that. Whenever they feel like it, it's like. So anyway, I don't know if at some point we can lower that down to at least 8. So grasses don't get quite so
By
tall.
the time it gets written up and mowed, it's gonna be 12 anyway.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
There was one on Wilbur Street, it's like 3 foot tall, and I've been watching that, now it's being mowed. The thing is, I know who owns it. We're very friendly, and it's like, hey, don't you mow your lawn, but anyway, we are watching it. So far, Wilbur Street's being mowed now regularly, and 404 West 8th Street, that's been straightened out too, so. Yeah, that's gonna be kept mowed and edged. And then I can promise you for some salt. Anyway. That's about it. It's like, okay, thank you. One more time again, I just got to mention an interesting point, or not concerned. We don't have us, my neighbors who have this bilateral sewer line, we don't have the luxury of having an individual tapping line to the main sewer across the street. But yet, we have to pay the same amount for sewage as everybody else who does, and be burdened with the cost of maintaining the sewer line. I think that's a little bit unjust, don't you?
It is a good point, and that's the problem with,
And yet-
with your builders. When it was Chris, whoever built those houses out there, okay, so that. Those catch basins in your service lines are outside of the right of way. Unfortunately, there is no historical background for knowing whether the village took ownership or anything like that. Yes, we did do the lining as a good faith effort to try to make that work in the past, but your mains do tie into the main in front of your neighbor here, and you do have an 8 or a 10-inch line that crosses under the roadway. So to say that you're only having 4 inches going to a 4 inch to 4 inch, that's not totally true. But the question is, you're right, who again is the ownership and who's gonna maintain that if it were to have a problem underneath the road? The real answer is to have a lateral board underneath for each house, board under Lane Street, which isn't a cost effective measure either. But I think we can come up with a solution, just don't, let us figure it out, but we'll
I
come.
guarantee you that when the developer presented the plans to the building inspector, that this is where the gas lines will be, this is where the water lines will be, and this is where the sewer lines gonna be. When it got approved by the building inspector, it became, I feel, the burden of the responsibility of the village of Blissfield to take ownership of over at that time. Because I guarantee you, not one single homeowner, current or back then, would have approved to say, yeah, I'll take responsibility for the sewer line. I guarantee you that.
Yeah,
So-
again, that's where, learn from the past, where we need to document this stuff, where we need to enforce the rules and the ordinances and maintain proper records of who owns this or who doesn't own that, or is this private or public? Absolutely, but
Okay, well, I feel,
we'll keep working with it. We want to come up with
yeah,
a
so
solution.
I feel like we are way overpaying. If we have to share one sewer line, we can only tap into the sewer line once.
But you're still tying into the main with a larger main underneath the road.
Yeah, but we only tap into the main sewer line once. We don't have the luxury of tapping into the sewer line across the street as an individual home. And yet we have to pay as if we do and maintain the sewer line. And I think that's fair.
But any private residents would have to maintain their own sewer line up to the manhole, up to the roadway, up through the right of way.
You know that if you take a long 100-yard tape measure and see how much tile they got connecting 5 houses together. It's a lot more tile than what you would use as going.
It was probably saved the developer money boring once or digging the road once. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well.
We are none of us are around.
Yeah, they're short line at our expense.
Bill, public comment. Any other public comment for him a month? Seeing none, we have a committee of the whole preview. Next Monday. And then we're back again for a regular meeting on the 23rd. With that being said, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 8:18 p.m.
Or, second, sorry.
Lisa, last comment tonight.
Jerry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
James.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.